I've always felt invisible. I've always felt not pretty enough or not smart enough. Even though that was reaffirmed to me every day by my mother, my grandmother, and family members, but in my mind, okay, you have to say that. I can't say I was from a broken home or it wasn't typical. It was my mother, my grandmother, was raised in the church. My mother worked, she supported us. My grandmother helped my mother raise me. She was a single mother. Great family nucleus. Every summer we went on vacation. I mean, I've traveled the country. I graduated high school. I even went off to school to college. My addiction didn't start till later on in life. I was close to 30 when I started using. After my first marriage, I didn't even realize that I had a lot of feelings bottled up and resentments of the affairs my husband was having. Like, being a church girl and raised Pentecostal, we don't divorce. And, I had a hard time with that. I eventually turned away, got angry because why couldn't I make this marriage work? It was a learning experience. And it was just something about the drug that just enticed me. It was the lifestyle. I think I was more addicted to the lifestyle than, to the drugs, but then it just got bad. Crack cocaine and alcohol at this particular time. It was more or less trying to find shelter, trying to find somewhere to lay my head. Chicago's expensive. Even though I would have funds at some point in time, it would be just too expensive to stay too long. And so instead of trying to find somewhere else to stay, I'm trying to find the next place to get high. When it would get too bad and I knew my blood pressure would be up, I would go to the hospital. I know they'll keep me for a couple of days. One, because of my condition, I'm not taking my meds, and two, they will keep me for observation. So those 3 days that'll be up, I'm back on the train, I'm back walking the street. Lack of hygiene, that was what would be so irritable to me. Going to different pantries and to get free food. And my thing have always been for people who really needed that. I'm making a choice to be out here to do that. It wasn't out of need, it was out of choice. And to me, my mind was, something about this just wasn't right. What is really wrong with me? And so it becomes a self-talk situation for me. I knew about the Salvation Army and I knew about their rehab program. I talked with the Major Bowers, and she was really, really, really nice. It was Major that really did it for me. And she was so compassionate. And I think that changed my whole attitude. I said, okay, I'm not in this thing alone. If I can just listen and just keep trudging, I can do this. And every day wasn't great, but I said, if I just go to sleep and wake up the next day, that's another day behind me. And before I knew it, I was immersed into this program. If you really work this program, it's going to be successful. Ups, downs, and ins and outs, personalities. If you work through it, it's a great program. It really is. It's a great program. The path you're taking is going to turn you to a reprobated mind. You know the word. You know God has a plan for you. You know that all you're doing is running. You're just running from yourself. First and foremost, no matter what, His word is never void. Pride comes before a fall, and you're already falling. Jail, institution, and death. You've been to jail. You need an institution, or else you're going to die. Learn how to be humble. Tuck your tail in between your legs. Even if you only do it for a month, just go in there and do what you have to do to get better. This is ridiculous. Anybody at your stage, you're about to be 50, you're on a train in a city with no family, riding back and forth. Don't be an idiot. Do not die like this. This is not the end of your story. Just make the phone call. Take the time. Learn to love you. How can you love anybody else if you don't love you?
If someone you know has substance abuse problems or has lost the ability to cope with their problems and provide for themselves, go to satruck.org.